The sky was always red now. Once it had been blue. Or maybe green, she didn't remember. She was too young when it changed. Now fire clouds covered the sky and ash fell like black snow. She lived in a broken city, alone. No voices. No footsteps. No warmth, just silence and dust. Her name was Lyra. She didn't know what it meant. Her mother used to say it gently. Her father said it with pride. They were gone. Everyone was gone. The great towers of her people now leaned like old bones. Metal walls had holes. Streets were cracked. Machines didn't move. Doors stayed shut. This place used to shine with lights and music. Now it was cold. Dead dot, except for her. Lyra was small, even for her kind. She had soft gray skin, long ears that twitched when scared, and big round eyes that glowed in the dark. Her thin arms wrapped tightly around herself as she hid under a broken ship wing. Each day was the same. She woke up, she listened. Nothing. She searched for food. Sometimes she found old metal packs with dry jelly inside. Sometimes she didn't. Then she would go back to her hiding place and try not to cry. Aliens were supposed to be strong. That's what her father said, but she was tired of being strong. Then, one day, something changed. She heard a sound. A strange hum in the air. A low engine, not her kind. She rushed deeper into the shadows and peered through cracks in the metal wall. Something was landing outside the city near the old market square. It was a ship, not like the smooth, round crafts her people flew. This one was sharp, square, and dirty. It had marks on the side. A flag she didn't know. And smoke poured out of the back. The door opened slowly. She held her breath. One leg stepped out. Then another. Heavy boots. Brown clothes. A helmet with a black glass face. A human. She had only heard stories about them. Her kind feared them. Some said humans were dangerous, wild. Some said they were kind, but only to their own. No one really knew. The human looked around. Quiet. Careful. He pulled something from his back. Not a weapon. A bag. He placed it on the ground and sat beside it. He did nothing else. Lyra watched for hours. The human just stayed there. He looked around, sometimes writing on a small screen. He drank water. He ate something. Then he stood up, walked to the center of the square, and left something behind. A small package. Then he returned to his ship and closed the door. Lyra didn't move that day, or the next. But on the third day, her hunger won. She waited until dark. The wind howled. The sky flickered with heat lightning. She crept out slowly. Step by step, her eyes locked on the package. She looked around. No one. She grabbed it and ran back to her hiding place. Inside was food. Simple, dry bread. Some sweet paste. A soft cloth. Tears fell from her eyes. Why? Why would he help? She didn't understand. But the next day, the package was there again. And again the day after. She didn't show herself. Not yet. But something was changing inside her. The fear. It started to fade. Instead, she began to wonder, who was this human? Why was he here? He didn't act like the others she had heard about. He didn't hunt. He didn't take. He just stayed. He even started fixing things, cleaning the square, putting up strange lights. He built a fire. A real fire. Warm, safe. One night, she crept closer. He was sitting by the fire, holding a small object, a toy. A tiny alien doll, one of hers. She gasped. He looked up. He didn't move. Didn't speak. Slowly, he placed the doll beside the fire. Then he stood up, turned around, and walked back into his ship. Lyra ran forward and grabbed the doll. It was hers. From long ago, from before the city died. She held it tightly. Her heart beat fast. He knew she was there, but he didn't chase her. He didn't yell. He didn't try to catch her. He only left a gift. Something warm bloomed in her chest. Hope, for the first time in many days. She smiled. Just a little. The human had seen her but didn't treat her like a monster. He had come to a dead world and lit a fire. Maybe he wasn't like the others. Maybe she wasn't alone anymore. Asterisk. The human who stayed the human did not leave. His ship stayed in the same place, day after day. Night after night, Lyra watched him from the shadows. He would wake early, walk around the broken city square, and clean the dust. He used strange tools to fix old machines. One day, he repaired a broken light pole. Now at night, it glowed again, soft and white, like a small moon. It felt like the city was breathing. Again. Just a little. But Lyra stayed hidden. She didn't fully trust him. He knew she was there. He left food every day, sometimes even a bottle of clean water or a blanket. But he never tried to follow her, never called out, never forced her to come. Closer, he was waiting for her to choose, and she didn't know why. Why would a human stay on a ruined alien world, just for her? There was nothing left here, nothing to take, nothing to save, only her. One evening, Lyra crept out and sat far from the fire. She didn't take the food that night. She just watched him. The human sat with his back to her, poking the fire with a stick. Sparks rose into the air like tiny stars. He hummed a soft tune, strange and low. Not like her people's music, but still. Gentle. The next night, she came closer. Still silent. Still hidden in shadows. She took the bread quickly and ran. But on the fifth night, something strange happened. The human was drawing. He sat near the fire with a thin black pen, sketching something on a pad. Lyra peered from behind a wall. She couldn't see well, so she crawled up a little pile of stone and looked again. It was her face, drawn with care. Not scary. Not ugly, just sad. Lyra touched her cheek. She had never seen herself like that. The human wasn't afraid of her. He wasn't mocking her either. He was trying to understand. Suddenly, the human looked up. Their eyes met. He didn't move. Didn't speak. Then he did something strange. He took the sketch and gently placed it near the fire. Then he stood up, backed away, and sat near his ship. Lyra stared at the drawing. Was this, for her, a gift? She waited 5 full minutes. Then she ran forward, snatched it, and disappeared again into the ruins. That night, she didn't sleep. She kept staring at the drawing, and in the corner of the page, something was written. A name. Captain. Joel Hart. So now she had his name, Joel, a human with kind eyes and warm hands. A human who didn't shoot, didn't yell, didn't run away. The next morning, Lyra tried something different. She left her own drawing where the food usually was. It was clumsy. The lines were shaky. But it showed Hurley and Joel, sitting together beside a fire. She waited all day to see what he would do. That evening, when he found it, Joel froze. Then, slowly, he smiled. He folded the paper gently, pressed it to his chest, and whispered something she couldn't hear. From then on, things changed. Lyra started showing herself, just a little more each time. She would sit by the edge of the fire while Joel was eating. Not too close, but not hiding anymore. Joel didn't push. He only offered her food with a small nod. She never heard him speak a word. Maybe he didn't want to scare her. Maybe he didn't know her language. Or maybe silence was enough. They didn't need words to feel safe. One day, Joel started building something. At first, Lyra didn't understand. He cleared an old garden space near the ruins. He brought strange metal beams from his ship and connected them with thick wires and glowing cubes. Slowly, walls began to rise. Not a camp, not a ship hangar, a house. He was building a house. For her, Lyra. Couldn't believe it. No one had ever built anything for her. The roof was curved, like her people's old homes. The walls were smooth and silver. There was even a small window where sunlight could enter. She watched him work 4 days. He would wipe sweat from his face, drink water, and keep going. One night, he fell asleep outside, covered in dust and tools. Lyra crept close. She stood above him. She wanted to say something, but the words were stuck, so she took her blanket. The one he gave her, hand placed it over his shoulders. Then she ran back into the dark. Joel never said anything the next morning, but she saw the blanket folded neatly beside the fire. He knew and she knew. Something was growing between them. Not fear, not silence, but something else. Something stronger. Learning to trust Lyra came out of hiding more often now. She didn't run anymore. She didn't hide behind walls or broken metal. Instead, she walked slowly toward the fire when the sky turned dark. Joel was always there, waiting. He still didn't speak, not a single word. But his eyes said enough. They were calm, kind, never sharp or angry. Lyra liked that at first. She sat far away, then a little closer each night. By the 10th evening, she sat across from him, just 3 steps from the app. Fire Joel offered her a cup of warm liquid. It smelled strange, but sweet. She looked at it. Then at him, he gave a small smile, then sipped his own cup. Lyra copied him. The drink was thick and warm. It made her chest feel soft, like sunlight inside. She nodded once. Slowly, Joel chuckled just a little. That sound made her smile without meaning to. This was new. This was peace. After weeks of silence and cold, she finally felt safe. But still, she said nothing. Her voice had not been used in so long. She feared it might break. One night, Joel brought out something different. It was a small screen with pictures. Old photos. Lyra moved closer to see. The first photo showed a group of humans, laughing, smiling. One of them was Joel. His face looked younger, but the same kindness was in his eyes. The next photo was of a small blue planet. Earth. Lyra had only heard stories of it. A planet full of oceans and trees, loud cities and flying machines. A place humans called home. Joel pointed at the photo, then tapped his chest. Home, he said, softly. It was the first word she ever heard him speak. Simple, but powerful. Lyra looked at him, then at the small metal house he had built near the ruins. She pointed to it, then slowly raised her hand to her own chest. She didn't say the word, but Joel understood. His smile grew wider. That night, he made something new. A small meal with different colors and smells. He placed it between them and motioned for her to eat. She hesitated, then took a bite. It was warm, soft, and spicy. She coughed a little. Joel laughed again. Lyra laughed too. A real laugh. It echoed through the broken, city-like music from the past. Joel started showing her more things. Simple things. He taught her how to press buttons on the machine that boiled water, how to plant seeds in soft soil, how to clean old tech with careful hands. She learned fast. Her people had once been smart, builders and thinkers. She remembered pieces of it, like puzzle parts in her head. And with Joel's quiet guidance, the puzzles started to fit again. Every day, she grew braver. One morning, Lyra stood at the edge of the garden Joel made. She reached into the dirt and pulled up a small sprout. She ran to Joel and held it up proudly. He took it, smiled, and gave her a gentle thumbs dash up. She had done something right that day. She found her voice, not by force. It just came, soft and small. "Grow," she said. Joel froze. Then, slowly, he nodded. Double quotes, yes, grow. It was just one word, but it felt like a wall breaking inside her. From that moment, she started to speak more. Not much, just single words, small sentences. But Joel always listened. He never laughed at her mistakes. He corrected her with patience. He answered every word. Like it mattered, Lyra liked learning his language. It made her feel bigger than before, stronger, more human. But she never forgot who she was. One evening, as the sun turned orange, Lyra sat beside Joel. He held a glowing cube. It showed moving stars and planets. He pointed to one star far away. "Your home." She looked at it for a long time, then shook her head. "No more," she whispered. Joel didn't ask more questions. He simply closed the cube and placed it beside her. She took it not to remember the past, but to honor it. She was not the girl who cried alone anymore. Now she was learning. Now she had warmth. Now she had someone. And every night, when the fire cracked and the stars blinked above, she felt less like a ghost and more like herself. Someone real, someone seen, someone safe. Asterisk, the truth about her past. The sun was low and orange, casting long shadows over the broken city. Lyra sat quietly near the small house Joel built. The fire crackled softly beside her, but her mind was heavy. Joel was not just a stranger now. He was her friend. Maybe more, but there were still questions. Big questions she didn't have answers. For why was she the only one left? Why was the city so empty? Why did her people disappear? One morning, Joel found something. He came back from his ship carrying a small metal box. It looked old and dusty. He wiped the dirt away carefully and opened it. Inside were strange tablets covered in tiny writing and pictures. Joel showed them. To Lyra, she recognized the shapes. The symbols were her people's ancient language. Joel didn't understand the words, but he wanted to help. He used his screen to scan the tablets. Slowly, a translation began to appear. The story told of a great danger, a disease, a virus that spread quickly, killing many. Her people had fought hard to stop it, but it was too strong. The virus changed everything. Many escaped to other worlds, but some, like Lyra, were left behind, hidden. Lyra's heart ached. She looked at Joel. He didn't say anything. He just took her hand. She squeezed it. Then, Joel found another tablet. It told about a child. A last hope. The child who carried the cure inside her. Was that her? Lyra didn't know. Her memories were like broken glass, sharp, confusing, and unclear. But one thing was certain. She was not alone in this. Someone had left her there to survive. Someone had hoped she would live. Joel studied the tablets night and day. He brought machines to read more ancient data. He showed Lyra pictures of her people, their ships, their homes. Lyra's eyes filled with tears. She whispered, "Why did they leave me?" Joel answered with a soft voice, "Because they believed you could save them all." The truth was heavy, but it gave her hope. Hope that she was important. Hope that she had a reason to live. And hope that Joel was not just a stranger. He was her ally, her family. That night, Lyra looked at the stars. She saw her lost world shining. Faintly, she made a silent promise: she would learn, she would grow, she would protect, and she would never be alone again. The enemy returns. The sky darkened with thick, black clouds. The small city felt colder than ever. Lyra stood beside Joel, watching the horizon. Suddenly, a loud rumble shook the ground far above. A strange shape appeared in the sky ship, but it was not human, nor like her people's. It was bigger, darker. Menacing, the ship moved fast, cutting through the red sky like a blade. Joel's face grew serious. He grabbed a small device and pointed it toward the ship. "It's them," he whispered. Lyra's single quotes, S. Heart pounded. "Who?" she asked. Joel didn't answer. He only packed their things quickly. The enemy was back. They had come for the girl, for her Lyra. Didn't understand why. She just knew danger was near. The alien ship landed with a thunderous crash. From it, dark figures emerged, tall, armored, and silent. They moved with deadly purpose. Joel hid Lyra in the small house. He covered the windows, locked the doors. But the enemy was clever. They scanned the area with glowing orbs. Lyra held her breath. The orbs passed by. Almost. Missing her hiding spot, Joel whispered, "Stay quiet. Don't move." The house shook as the enemy broke through the door. Joel fought fiercely, but they were many. Lyra felt helpless, tears streaming down her face. Suddenly, something inside her stirred. A warmth, light. She reached out. The walls glowed with energy. The enemy screamed and stumbled back. Joel looked at her in shock. "You have power," he said. Lyra nodded, trembling. She didn't know where the power came from, but she knew it was hers. She stood tall. Together, they fought Joel with his weapons. Lyra with her newfound light. The enemy retreated. The dark ship disappeared into the sky. Lyra and Joel were safe. For now, but the fight was only beginning. Fight for home. The air was thick with tension. The ruins felt alive with danger. Lyra stood beside Joel, her small hands trembling, but her eyes fierce. The enemy would come again. She knew it. Joel loaded his weapon carefully. Every move was calm, but his jaw was tight. "We can't run this time," he said quietly. Lyra nodded. She wasn't the scared child who hid anymore. She was ready. The first attack came at dawn. Dark ships sliced through the red sky, dropping troops. Like rain, Joel fired his weapon. Shouting orders, Lyra felt the power inside her grow stronger. She closed her eyes, took a deep breath, and reached out. A shield of light formed around their small home. The enemy's weapons hit the shield but could not break through. The battle was fierce. Joel fought beside her, covering her as she pushed back. The dark waves with her glowing hands. One enemy soldier broke through the shield. Joel tackled him hard. Lyra focused all her energy on the shield. Willing it to hold the ground shook beneath their feet. Explosions lit the sky, but they fought together. Then, something changed. The enemy soldiers stopped. They stared at Lyra. Fear filled their eyes. Lyra felt it too. She was not just a child. She was a force. One enemy stepped forward, holding a strange device. It was a weapon designed to stop her power. Lyra's shield flickered. Joel shouted, "Protect her!" He charged the enemy, fighting with everything he had. Lyra took a deep breath. She gathered all her strength. A bright light exploded from her hands. The weapon shattered. The enemy fled. The battle was over. Lyra looked at Joel. He was bruised, but smiling. "You're not alone," he said. "We fight together. We protect home." Lyra smiled back. Her home was no longer ruins. It was a place of hope, a place worth fighting for. A home at last. The city was quiet. No ships filled the sky. No enemy soldiers hid in the shadows. Only the wind moved through the old streets, carrying the soft scent of growing things. Lyra stood at the edge of the little garden, feeling the earth. Between her fingers, the soil was soft. Green shoots pushed up toward the sun. The same sun that once seemed cold and cruel now felt warm on her face. She looked around. Everything was different. The house Joel had built was not big, but it was strong. Silver walls, a rounded roof, windows that let in the gentle morning light. Around it, new life was everywhere, plants, flowers, even small fruits. Joel was fixing a broken chair outside. His sleeves were rolled up, and he hummed a quiet song. Every now and then, he glanced at Lyra and smiled. Not the tired, sad smile from before, but a real, happy one. The old city was still full of ruins, but now the ruins were changing too. Lyra and Joel had cleared the main square. They painted some walls. They fixed old machines. Sometimes Joel would find ancient toys or pictures and bring them to Lyra as gifts. Each day, the home grew brighter. But the best thing was the feeling: no more fear, no more hiding. Lyra felt safe. She felt home. One evening, as the sun set in glowing orange, Joel called her over. He held something small in his hands. It was a seed. He placed it in Lyra's palm and closed her fingers around it gently. "This is for you," Joel said, his voice soft. "You are the beginning." Lyra smiled, understanding. She found a spot in the garden and knelt down. With careful hands, she made a small hole and pressed the seed into the earth. Joel poured water over it. They watched as the soil soaked it in. Lyra whispered, "Grow." She closed her eyes and let her power flow gently into the ground. A tiny green sprout pushed up almost at once. Joel laughed. "Sound like hope. You did it," he said. Lyra felt warmth inside her heart. After so many dark days, she was making life again. That night, they sat by the fire outside. Joel cooked food while Lyra told him about her dreams. Simple words, broken sentences, but Joel listened too. "Everyone, I dreamed of flying," she said, eyes shining in the firelight. "I dreamed of my mother. She smiled at me." Joel nodded, his eyes full of kindness. "She would be proud," he said. "You are brave. You made it." Lyra was quiet. "For a moment, not alone," she whispered. "Because of you." Joel reached over and squeezed her hand. For the first time, Lyra didn't pull away. She squeezed back. Days turned into weeks. News spread across the stars. Joel's signal had reached other humans. Call for help. A call for peace. One bright morning, a small human ship landed near their home. It was not like the enemy's ship. The door opened, and a woman stepped out. She smiled gently and waved. "I am Dr. Mara," she said. "I heard your call." Joel introduced Lyra. The doctor bent down to her level, speaking slowly. "You're safe now. We want to help. We can learn from you, and you can live free." Lyra was scared at first, but Joel nodded at her. "It's okay," he said. "They're friends." Lyra stepped forward. The doctor touched her shoulder kindly. "We will help you grow," she said. With the help of Joel and Dr. Mara, the garden grew bigger. The house grew, too, now with more rooms and lights that never went out. Sometimes, Lyra felt the old sadness return, the memory of the empty city, of her people gone, but she was not alone. Anymore, she had a family, she had friends, she had hope. She found her voice. Slowly but surely, one evening, as the stars came out, Lyra stood outside with Joel and Dr. Mara. She looked up at the endless sky. "I am not afraid," she said. Joel smiled. Dr. Mara smiled. Two of above them, a new seed of life had been planted, not just in the earth, but in their hearts. And so, in a world once full of ruins and shadows, a small alien girl and a human showed that home was not walls or roofs, or even a place. Home was hope. Home was kindness. Home was found together. New. Voices, new dreams. A gentle rain fell on the city one morning. washing away dust from old stone and broken metal. Where only silence once lived, now there was laughter. Lyra sat by the garden, watching green leaves dance in the soft wind. Drops of rain sparkled on her skin, and she smiled something that still felt new, but right. The home Joel built was now bigger, filled with more people. After Dr. Mara arrived, others followed: engineers, doctors, helpers. They brought tools, seeds, food, and stories of distant worlds. Some came just to see the brave alien girl and the human who stayed behind. First, Lyra was shy. She hid behind Joel or watched from the doorway. But the new humans were patient. They spoke softly, gave her space, and always smiled. Slowly, she stepped outside. The other children were the first to reach her. They brought simple toys and asked, "Will you play with us?" Lyra looked at Joel, unsure. Joel nodded, his smile warm. "It's all right." Their friends, so she joined them. The games were strange at first. Tag, hide and seek, ball games she had never seen. She watched, learned, and then played. The laughter made her heart feel light. The city changed. Old ruins were cleared, streets repaired, lights fixed. The humans built a small school where Lyra and the others learned together. Dr. Mara taught about plants and stars. Joel taught about fixing things, about kindness and listening. But Lyra taught something special: her own language, her people's stories, and the old songs of her lost world. The others listened. Wide-eyed, she sang softly at first, her voice trembling. But soon, she grew braver. Her songs echoed through the city, full of hope and memory. Sometimes she wondered if her people could hear her out there, somewhere among the stars. But she was not sad now. She was part of a new family. One afternoon, the humans and children gathered in the square. The garden was blooming, full of flowers and food. Joel set up a small stage and asked Lyra to stand with him. She was nervous, but Joel squeezed her hand. "It's your story, Lyra," he said. "You are not alone anymore." Lyra looked at the crowd, her friends, her new family. She took a deep breath and spoke. "I was alone. I was afraid. But then Joel came. He gave me food, shelter, and hope. Now we all have hope. Together, we are strong." The crowd cheered, and Lyra's smile was bright. That night, under the stars, Lyra and Joel sat by the fire. "You've changed, Lyra," Joel said. "You are strong. You are a leader." Lyra shook her head. "Not a leader, just me." Joel laughed softly. "Sometimes that's enough." A distant radio crackled. News from other planets. A message. "We want to help. We want to learn." Joel turned to Lyra. "Do you want to go? Visit new places? See the stars?" Lyra thought for a long time. She looked at her home, the garden, the people, the lights shining in the night. "I want to help here first," she said quietly. "This city is my home. But one day, yes, I will see the stars." Joel smiled and nodded. For now, they belonged to this place. Together, they planned and dreamed. With every sunrise, the city grew brighter. People arrived, not just from Earth, but from other worlds. Some were human, some not. All were searching for hope, a new beginning. Lyra welcomed them. She showed them the garden. She taught the children old songs. She worked with the builders, planting seeds and building walls. Each evening, as the sun set, she walked through the city, watching as lights flickered on in every home. She remembered the first time she saw Joel's fire in the dark, small light, but strong. Now there were hundreds of lights, a city full of hope. One night, as Lyra sat with Joel on the roof, looking at the stars, she whispered, "Thank you." Joel looked at her. "For what?" "For finding me," she said. Joel put his arm around her shoulders. You saved me, too, Lyra. I was lost before I met you. Lyra smiled, her heart full. Rain fell softly on the roof. But inside their home, it was warm, and outside, in the city that once was lost, new voices filled the night, singing, laughing, living. The abandoned girl was alone no longer. She had a home, a family, and a future. And tomorrow her dreams would reach for the stars.